All right, and this is question 3 from discussion 7, not from the worksheet, but from the discussion webpage. In this situation, you're simplifying this expression. You're not going to solve. You can't solve because you don't have this set equal to anything. So of course, we all know when you have brackets and parentheses, you have to do parentheses first. But in this situation, you can't add x plus 3. It's impossible. There's nothing to do with that. X plus 3 does not equal 3x. 3x means 3 times x, not 3 plus x. So we cannot simplify in this way. We have to look at this center piece here and see that we can use distributive property. Because then once we've simplified this using distributive property, we'll be able to combine like terms inside the brackets. So let's begin. Using distributive property, we're going to take the 5x first, or 5 times the x, and then we're going to take 5 times the 3, and it's added. So that will give us 5x plus 15. So that changes that, but we're still working inside the brackets first. So we'll keep those there. There's a 2x plus, because our addition sign didn't change. And then over here we have a minus 2, and that didn't change yet. And then even on the outside of the brackets, we still have more stuff. And that's fine. We just leave it alone for now. We can just write it in to keep track of everything. But we're still working in the brackets. So and then in this situation, we can combine our like terms in the brackets. So I see these two terms with x's on them, we can combine. And these two terms, which are just numbers, and you can always combine just numbers. So 2x plus 7, or plus 5x is 7x. And you can watch the videos for problem 2 if you're not really understanding why we just are taking the 2 plus the 5. I explained that in problem 2. Okay, and then we have this plus 15 minus 2, which is a plus 13. And I said it that way because we have to think that way in algebra. Always, when you have numbers and plus and minus signs, always think of them as attached to that number just to the right. And you'll see where that comes in handy. So we've simplified the brackets down to this. We still have this on the outside of the bracket. Now, not everybody did the problem this way. People eliminated the brackets in this step. I don't recommend that, but it did work in this case. Now, to keep our integers cataloged correctly, what I like to do at this stage is distribute this -1, because it's always a -1 in front of these parentheses or brackets. At this point, since we've condensed so much of this, brackets are not necessary anymore because we no longer have parentheses inside of brackets. So it's okay to switch these to parentheses, although you can leave it as brackets as well. It doesn't change anything. So with this -1, or with a minus in front of the bracket, it's easy to distribute a -1 over what's inside the bracket to keep track of your integers. And that will give us the 3. It hasn't gone anywhere. Now we do -1 times 7x, which is minus, and we still have the 7x. That didn't change. It's just keeping track of integers. So we multiply -1 times a positive 13, which gives us a minus 13. And this is where things change. Okay, and then you have just the plus 3x. Now we have 3 minus 7x minus 13 plus 3x, so we can combine like terms. But when you combine the like terms, make sure you carry along the sign that's just to the left of your term. So we combine a minus 7x and a plus 3x. So I'm going to rewrite that to minus 7x plus 3x. Once again, when you get used to carrying along the sign that's next to your coefficient, it just helps you to keep track of everything. Here it seems maybe like overkill, but it'll be very important when you're doing more complicated problems. And this 3 is a plus 3, because if there's nothing in front, it's always plus. And this is a minus 13, so we do plus 3 minus 13. And I just rearranged it so you can see now that we have these terms that we can combine and these terms we can combine. So minus 7 plus 3 is a minus 4x, and a plus 3 minus a 13 is a minus 10. And this can then be broken down further. We can factor out a 2, which means we're going to divide both terms, but let's divide them both by negative 2. And this way it'll help to clean up the integer mess that we've got. We've got a negative and a negative. So we're going to factor out a negative 2, and you're going to see this again. Negative over negative makes that a nice positive 2x, and then negative over the negative makes it a plus 5. Not everybody solved it in this way, but this procedure is good to use when you have more complicated problems. So I recommend studying it and trying to use it if you haven't used it. Okay.